Yeah, welcome back everybody to the 2025 Derby City Classic. This is round 5, and it is the one pocket division. It is the second of 3 divisions. The first is bank pool. Now we're in the one pocket, and the final event is the 9 ball, which is a WNT ranking event with the 9 racked on the spot. These guys are lagging for the break. And while they're doing that, I am your host, Scott Frost, aka the Freezer, and we've got 2 world-class players for you. Well, one of them you may not have heard of too often, but I grew up with him, John Turpin, aka Snooker John, or Snooker Jizz, as I like to call him. And then, of course, the great Shane Van Boening. Should be a fun match, actually. Snooker John, or John Turpin, is from Missouri. Used to go to Olathe, Kansas a lot. Played in a lot of big tournaments when he was younger. He was kind of a roadie, more of a road player, but very talented. He is in the carnival business, so they call them carnies. Shane Van Boening is in the billiard business, and they call him a professional. It is a race to 3. Alternate the break. We are playing one pocket, so it's the first person to make 8 of any ball in their designated pocket that will win the game. There are no jump cues allowed. 3 foul rule is in effect. Snooker John taking this pretty seriously. He did win the lag, and I do, tip my hat to the guy that wins a lag in a race to 3, but I still quite wouldn't call him a favorite. Playing, in my opinion, one of the top 3 one-pocket players in the world, or at least one of the top 3 one-pocket players in the world that are mostly overlooked and underrated. Shane Van Boening. Pretty interesting starting point, so he is breaking from more out towards the center. This relieves the cue ball from any bad kisses if you hit it good. And as soon as I say that, he's gone right off the blue too. So John Turpin will 0-1 right out of the gate. Shane Van Boening, at minimum, will have a good escape. Shane's pocket will be in the upper left. John Turpin's upper right. Yeah, immediately looking to play the 1 into the left side of the 12. A lot of good things. Watch the 6, watch the 1, watch the 2. It's going to splatter everything to his side. We call this a sweep shot. Not a sweet shot, but a sweep. Well, he swept him. The 9 did leak. And I don't know if you're going to get better opportunity than this against SVB, so you might want to take advantage. And I don't think here you worry anything about the cue ball. You just level out. Center top ball here. Cinch the 9. You should get some type of look afterwards. And he's got it pretty thick. Alright, he got it down. I believe the 7 goes. If not, the 10. Roberto Gomez, aka Superman, throwing cue balls around. Well, if the 7 goes, maybe his concern is that he's going heavy towards the 11. Oh, nicely played, but he's fallen flat on the 11. I like the way he played it, though. You didn't have to fall straight. I like what he's looking at here, but the only concern is if you get too low below the 2, you kind of trap yourself. But that's really all he's got. You just want to stay really about level with it, so you want to just drop right below the 3 on that line anyway. Of course, he's going to be on the right side of the table. And that's more like where I think he needs to be. If you flirt with getting too low, you can kind of trap yourself. Some movement there. Boy, he has wiggled it in. He's wiggled a couple in already. Now see how steep he is? He's got to draw to the 9. Excuse me, the 1. Oh, that was a big decel. Yeah, big decel. Cue ball kind of went through, didn't get anything out of the 2. Probably due to the steep angle he had on the bank. Shane, I couldn't fault him for cutting at the 1 here. Look at how level he is. Center ball, center high cue ball. Yeah, and if he can get to the 13.5, this could be a very quick rack. Can drop to the 2 and 6 next if it's laying right, which it is. Really jacked up here. Gonna probably get on the 3. And now SVB playing for 5. And they are all there. Really kind of dictates whether the 10, 15, or 11 play. If any of those 3 play, then this is probably finito. Could go up to the 13 now. The only concern is you risk getting a little bit straight. The speed's excellent. Still risk getting a little straight. Can come back for the 8. Playing for 2. He's fallen straight again. Just seems to happen when you're trying to get on a bare ball. Yeah, I like rolling down for the 15 versus stopping for the 14, just because you can kind of play a better cue ball on the 15. If you're shooting a 14, you might leave the 11 cross corner. Did he get there? Think he can cross it at worst. Playing for 1. And if it doesn't go, it's on layaway, but split the heart. SVB wins game number 1. Really all a result, and a friend of mine, John Turpin, but all a result of a major deceleration on the blue 2. Probably afraid of letting the cue ball get away, leaving the 1. But if that's the case, then maybe catch the 2 a little bit fuller and go into the edge of the 1. Instead, kind of all went awry on him. Also more towards the center versus off the side rail. Yeah, and a really good hit there. The 3 is high, the 2 is low. This is always a problem. Now, immediately I look at the lower left towards the chalk here. If you don't find something good down low, what can happen when you put them down here taking a foul? You might even be able to cross the 15 over doing that, putting it down here towards the chalk. But what really happens taking a foul down here is you kind of force your opponent's hand now to come down table. If they choose not to and just take a foul back, well, then you might have a better escape than you had initially. he is completely focused on anything down there, but Shane will never shoot the 11-3 combination if the cue ball is where the chalk is down here on the lower left side. So you use the left long rail to control the pace. I believe it's worked out. Shane gave him the double tap of approval. Really kind of gambled there, though. You do have to do that at times after the break, that's for sure. Just try to scramble. Wants to protect the 3. Kind of an odd position here. Can you trim the 3 and come over like just below the right side pocket? A little odd, huh? Yeah, really odd situation, actually. Rarely do you see a ball close to Shane's pocket like this and then behind all those balls by John's side. So he's basically doing what I said, but just coming off the stripe. Protecting the 3. Problem with kicking at the 3 now is that you leave the 12, possibly the 10, the 6, the 2. Well, no time taken there, just down and fire. Might want to take a little longer or a little more time and look things over when you're in that situation. One to the good for SVB. He did make one for Shane as well. I think he was trying to use that ball to sweep it out, meaning the 3. Looking to see what he can do next. Believe it or not, I've seen people, including myself, pass up a ball like the 3 to better my position. Now, I don't think this is going to be the situation. Rail first. I'm going to try and trickle below the 2. And he has trickled. Very, very good. Now maybe go to the 6. You can draw into the 12 or the 10. Oh, he's missed the 6? Wow, unexpected. What do you have, Snooker John? Nothing wrong with banking the 5 to your side of the table and just putting him below the green 6. He's just staying aggressive, but that ball didn't really bank with the 2 where it was. You know, some advice I think I would give a guy that doesn't play at the elite level playing one pocket is that you still have to play the game, right? I know that John Turpin knows the game, but he's playing Shane Van Boening. You still have to play the game. You still have to protect balls. You can't just force something or make something happen that really isn't there. I think that's pretty good advice, right? One of the best things, or one of the greatest things I liked when I was giving up a big handicap for big money was when they felt like they couldn't move with me. They would pass up a real good move where they cinched me up. Instead, they tried something that wouldn't even really be possible. And that's kind of the same scenario there. You're not going to beat a world-class player by just all offense. Well, if history repeats itself, he's going to bank this stripe, which I believe is the 12. Problem is, if you go forward, you're going to sell something out. I mean, the green 6 is a great ball to move to your side of the table and just stop right there. You've got protection with the 5 and the pile. But here, you're shooting 1 to lose the game. Well, he's split the wicket. Now kind of looking where the 6 is at. Do you chance trying to just knock the 6 to your side and get up in behind the 4 and 7? I don't think you have to, really. I think you're better to leave the cue ball where the 6 is and just kind of stun it. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Did good protecting the 5. And to tell you how good it really is, Shane looking to come off the 11 and trickle down behind the 5. Doesn't want to come this way because it just makes things maybe a bit worse. Wants to keep him off of being able to see the 8. There's... I don't believe he got a rail. Kind of really jumbled everything up as well. 4, 7, the 9, and the 10, I believe. Now he can go to the 8. Softly. I want to leave it straight back. Shane will rifle it in. He's left the 5. And that's a really kind of overlooked move there. He should have taken a better look at where that cue ball could finish, even though he might have overhit it. Now you've got to protect against the 8. You've got to protect against a bank in the pile. So if you come off the 5, maybe a high outside ball to straighten the cue ball out towards the 7-4. It really isn't a big risk, I don't think, if he just wants to edge the 5 and go towards the 7 and 4. You can send him up table if that's what he feels like, but that is where your percentages will probably diminish a little bit. What's he looking at here? Is he looking to play the 4 to his pocket? Wow. Take the pot, Snooker John. No position, but a great shot. Yeah, take another look. He's playing a triple combination. This is something you would do in the circus, and he is circus familiar. They call him the Carney. They call him Snooker John. Call him whatever you want. Just don't call him late for dinner. I think you've got to, if you're going to triple bank or triple combination bank that ball, you've got to bank the 14. Don't let us down now. Probably going to hit it with a little pace, and that can be dangerous. Yeah. Shaking his head there. Let another one slip by him. And another ball lead. Probably going to go by the wayside. So 2 games in a row, 2 actually real opportunities to kind of keep Shane pinned up. Hasn't done it. It's one thing you don't want Shane doing is running the balls. Probably going to the 5 here if he's shooting. Okay, drew through it. Playing for 4. And they are right there. I didn't feel like the cue ball was ever going to get there, but it just creeped into perfect place. Go to the 11 now, most likely. Playing for 2. Playing for 1. And a 2-0 lead, where in both games, as I just said, Snooker John really had the upper hand in position. But it just gives you an idea of how good these guys really are. You can't make any mistakes, leave any error, or they will eat you alive. John Turpin smiling and saying something to Shane. I tell you what, if you ever see him, he goes to the Derby City Classic. He is a fun guy. He is a character. Just a all-around great guy, fun to be around. He's got some stories. The way he talks, he's got a really funny accent. He is a character. And he is very intelligent. He's not some guy that just doesn't know what's going on. He's pretty clever. Alright, he's avoided the kiss. He's got quite a bit out of it, to be honest. Might have to go off the 1 here. Unless Shane is feeling a little froggy. I don't know if he can see something I can't. This is the only angle I have, but it's not terrible at all. Is he leveling out on the 3, coming around 3 rails? Oh, he is. What a naughty boy. I didn't even think he could get past the 12 off the 3rd rail. He couldn't. So now you've really got the upper hand if you can cross the 10. Cross it with a little pace towards the 9. The 8, you don't have protection on the cue ball unless you just stick him like glue. Yeah, you're going to lose your position. More than likely. Trying to get right there. Not only that, you could leave a bank. If you cross the lower ball versus play the high ball, now you can protect your cue ball. But the way Shane is acting tells me he cannot get to the stripe nearest Snooker John's pocket. Could go forward on the 10 and just kind of lay him between the 8 and the 12. Could come off the 2, try and lay him down behind the 4 or past it. Well, he's left him dead elevated. That'll work. I mean, dead elevated on the 10. That's really the ball you want to be able to see. Not the worst. You really want to keep that cue ball on the long rail right there. Makes it so much more difficult to come off of a ball like the 7 or the 13. Shane's so good with the cue ball. He's got plenty of options here. Well, he hasn't elevated him on the 10 now. Can you dig into the 10 like you're banking it towards the bottom of the 8 and draw towards the 2? Maybe the 3 goes. Could be the concern. What about coming up? Maybe just rolling to the 11 with a little pace, getting behind the 15, risking selling out the 1 that way maybe. Can you go through the 3 ball? You could follow through the 3, just knocking it to your side. That's not the worst. You're going to protect that stripe by your pocket. Whatever you do in this situation, you really need to think it out. And I like what he's doing. He's taking a little more time. I don't know. I'd be going to the 1 or the 11 here. Don't know. Is he trying to... It looks snookered almost, yeah. I don't think he could get enough of that ball to bank it. Can Shane see the stripe? Like he's digging around it. Or kick to the 4. Well, that's a big mistake. Pretty firm. Quickly down again. Yeah. Don't know if he caught that rail first or if he just put a little inside on it, which I think is what happened. Once again, I talked highly of him at the beginning of the match, and he can play. Probably a little nervy playing SVB, but that's the beauty of the Derby City Classic. You get to play great players for very little money. Just going to punch to the 1. Playing for 6. If history repeats itself, he'll most likely get him. He'd like to fall below the 10 unless the 2 passes. If he can fall below the 10, he might even be able to drop to the 8. But if you fall below the 10, you can trickle up into the 5 and really kind of just spread everything open. Tells me the 2 goes if he's playing cue ball there. Yeah, or he just landed on the wrong side, which is highly possible. Now maybe punching out to the 6 and 7. Well, that's great pace. Playing for 4. Quick and painless. He gets out here. I don't know about painless. John definitely had the upper hand the first 2 games in the beginning of both of those games. He got a good little flick off the 3. Otherwise, he's kind of hooked behind the pile there. Probably just going to put him behind the 8 and 9, unless he thinks he can play the 14-3. Yeah, I don't know if he thinks he can play the 14-3 or not. He just gambled on being able to make that bank. Because if he doesn't, might have been able to do some damage. John Turpin. Seems like it's awful steep back cut on the 14. Playing for 2. Pretty heady there with the speed at which he played it and the cue ball where it's at. Really guarded against leaving a cross corner on anything low. Problem with coming off the 8 now is that you've got to guard against the 9 bank, the 12 bank, the 2 bank. Caught it just a little thin. He's going to whip the 12 one rail and swing the cue ball 3. Okay, he's overcut the 12, which created a little longer cue ball, in my opinion. And he didn't really warp it or bend the cue ball off that first rail. So another opportunity. You've got options here. I've always been one to consider caroming off the 8, making the 9. You'll have a bank on the 12. The 8 comes up somewhere towards the center. But you know you're getting a bank on the 12 if you carom the 9 in versus shooting the 9 first or ball first. Now the problem with shooting the 1 is that you're now forced to play an 8-9 combination. Yeah, really, what are you going to get next? You got to come with a long spot shot, and then you've got a little awkward play. Hit it good. Not going to knock that. Can you play the 12 off the back of the 8 and tuck behind the 3? Well, that's definitely what he tried to do. Didn't hit it bad either. A little more mustard. It might have got there. Alright, and he owes 1. Yeah, I'm wondering, can he kick long rail or to the chalk like down here? What's he got up his sleeve here? Coming off the 8 or the 2? He can come off the 2, I guess he could maybe go towards that ball. All right. He's left position. And Shane owed 1. So Shane needs 3 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Score is correct. Think about this one. I like an inside ball here coming across the top of the 14, getting a look at the 7, then to the 1. Yeah, not bad at all. It's okay. You can go into the 2 now if you'd like. But really hard not to come up with a shot here. Now the 1-2 combination play. So just draw 1-2 out for the 5. Yeah, he wanted to get off the rail a little more, but he should be all right. He can punch towards the 1. And maybe a decel there as well. Instead of getting into the low side of the cue ball, the elbow probably dropped, or the arm, the back arm probably dropped a little on the delivery until he didn't get into the cue ball the way he wanted, and that's going to sting. You got to take advantage in these opportunities. 5 balls apiece. They were all right there. Can he cut the 8? show us who he is. Tell you what, he spun it pretty good. Like the way he played it. I do not think Shane's going to take any chances at this point. Left him pretty awkward on the 3, so do you shoot the 2 away? Just lay over here on the right long rail above the 3. Yeah, I think you've got to shoot the 2 away, even if you elevate a little. Oh boy. He went all out, and yeah. Don't know about that with this guy. He's such a good executor. He could chop the 3, come up and down, and get on the blue 2. You're leading 6 balls to 5. You've given a couple of games away. Just knock the 2 away and leave him nothing. And the speed looks absolutely perfect. So another one. Looking to get away from Snooker John. And this one will be the last one that gets away from him because he is on the 1 loss side already. That's not going to have the pace. Still got a heartbeat. Mr. Turpin. Just kind of pushing the issue at a few moments where you don't really know if it was time or not. Shane has no problem waiting. Probably knows that Snooker John's going to 2-rail the 1. Got it a little thin. Very tough position is the 13. If you're the guy that needs 2 and your pocket's the upper left. Oh, no, not to Snooker John. Wow! He got it down. The old double bubble, the 2-railer. He swung the cue ball with a center right cue ball right there. Look at how it finished. And a great match by Shane. Here's another look. This is a center right ball. Really perfectly hit. If you ask me, caught it a little wide, but you can't do much better than that. And to add insult to injury, the 1 waves goodbye. As for waving goodbye, Snooker John, he's going to wave goodbye as well, and so am I. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.